In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this simple pumpkin wall hanging wreath that you can do on your own for doors, walls, or prop up for party ideas. So I'm going to sit this here and then show you how easy it is to make this item. To start off with, you're going to use one work wreath. In this case, I have an orange. You can use the regular green if you need to, because most of that's going to be tucked away. And as you can see, I have spread out the ties along the outside ring. The inside ring we're not using in this case, so I've just crushed it into the center, and it'll help add some padding. So to start off with, you're going to need one roll of the 21-inch mesh. And of course, I'm using orange, just because that's the most common color for pumpkins. Now then, I'm going to gather the end and just leave a little there, and I'll start on this side so you can see. I'm going to start backwards with it. You see there are two ties to one side, and I'm going to tie that. Now the reason I'm starting backwards with it is that I want my raw edge on the inside of my pumpkin. I don't want any raw edges showing. And so then I'm going to just gather again and pull the mesh across to that very next set of ties. And I'm going to pull this one in kind of tight because this is starting the one side of my pumpkin. So you want to work that one down a bit. Okay, and then I just twist those ties a couple of times to hold it firmly, and flip the piece back and forth, working my way across the pumpkin. And as you work your way across, let the fabric itself bow up or puff up so you get that rounded look of the pumpkin. Now, as you're working, you see these spaces, and where things are gathered in tightly, you can have openings going. So if I curve this back on where I've already worked and come forward in a tight figure 8 kind of, then it fills in, the puff of the fabric itself fills in that empty space so that I get a good smooth edge going. So again, there's my second row, and I'm going to do that figure 8 pattern back across. Of course, I'm right-handed, so I work left to right. If you're left-handed, you can work the opposite direction just as easily. Now, in some cases, if you go over and there's too much space, then you may need to repeat at one of your ties again before you move on to the next tie. And of course, the bulges of your mesh itself start forming the ridges of your pumpkin. Okay, we're approaching that other side, so we start to pull down a little tighter. And we work our way into this other side piece, pulling that on down. Loop back that final time. And tie that in. Take our scissors and trim. And take that end and just tuck it back in under so that you have no loose edges. Okay, now there is your pumpkin. And then we're going to make leaves. So to do the leaves, you're just going to cut a length of the 10-inch mesh. Of course, in this case, we're using the green. And I've cut maybe, I don't know, 18, 20 inches there. And we just need a couple of those. That works. So all you're going to do here is just pleat the center. And you're going to take the other one. You can do these separately or together. And again, pleat. And your curls from your ribbon will make your leaf. And here we've got this piece for the top of the pumpkin. And you just take those two ties and twist that on. And now we've got leaves. Now then, at that point, you can take all of the ties that are sticking out and tuck those away behind or underneath so that you don't see any of those. And then at that point you could leave the pumpkin like this if you wanted, or add additional decoration. Now on the piece that I'm showing here, I'm using a fall pick, which of course has a sunflower on it, some leaves, and some pine cones and berries. All I'm going to do with that is just take this part and find an opening through my mesh and through the frame and pull it through. I'm going to bend it a little so that it bends down over the pumpkin. And as you can see here, it's just sticking straight back through. Now all I'm going to do in this case is just flex this right back over and bend that point down and just simply bend it around the frame. You can use pliers if you need to with this, but most of the picks aren't so stiff that you need that additional help. And there you've got your finished piece. It's all ready to hang. You can get everything here at Trees and Trends at our stores, and the designers in the stores can also assist you if you have further questions. Thank you very much.